Welcome to the Faust podcast, a journey of discovery. My name is Rebecca.
And my name is Sarah.
We're so glad you joined us today because this is the beginning. And when I say beginning, we really are at the very beginning of a conversation that will span a few months. Are you ready, Sarah?
Well, this is a grand adventure that we're going to go on. And I did admit to my sister Rebecca when she posed this project to me that I said, I really don't know too much about Faust, but I want to learn. It is a piece of literature that has stood the test of time. And it is something I think that all of us should have at least some limited exposure to. There's some great themes that we as people should discover.
And I think that is the whole point of Faust. It's a journey of becoming who we are and what gives us meaning.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be discussing themes of loss, of belonging, of being in a context of a cultural milieu. Is that the word?
Milieu?
Milieu. I think that is.
Milieu?
Because what we're going to be dealing with is themes of ambition, of temptation. You know, there is Mephistopheles. I can't say it.
Mephistopheles?
It is. Well, let's just say the devil, but it isn't. It's so much more
Yes.
than what we consider the devil. And I want to bring a word out for you. And I wanted to know if you knew the definition, and it is erudite. Do you know what that means?
Erudite?
Erudite.
Well,
erudite.
Well, if it's erudite, that
here it is, E-R-U-D-I-T-E.
Well, from what my use of the word, it has to do with knowing, of being aware, of being attuned to, and conversant with the nuance of a particular word.
So when you think about Faust was very intelligent. He had lived many lives. Well,
are we talking about the real Faust on which the stories are built?
Well, I think there's quite a few, so we won't go into that today, Sarah.
Okay.
But what we have here is a man who has everything, who has knowledge, who has learning, and yet finds himself without meaning. He's searching for meaning. Sarah, you said something to me just before we started the podcast. Maybe we won't ever know about Faust. And maybe that is what draws us to this very convoluted, complex story.
I remember the conversation, and I remember having this thought that struck me that, we're going to be approaching this extraordinary story that is full of depth and meaning. It took 60 years to write.
It was his, so he said, magnus opus.
And one of the things that I was thinking is that, we can assume to know what the author was thinking and what he was trying to say, but we will never completely understand it. And I think we will understand Faust in the context of our own perspective, our own sense of self. So what you get, and this is, Rebecca, I think this is going to be fascinating on this journey, because I think what Rebecca will get out of this story is going to be different from what I get out of the story.
And I agree. And there is another layer, which is it is a poem. It is in the language that is not English, it's German. And we need to bring in an expert, which will be coming with us along this journey. His name is Eglund, and he is in Germany. He can read Faust in the original language, and we can actually see the counterpoint. Yeah. And I am very excited about this.
Well, I think it's going to be fascinating because Rebecca and I, are going to see this story through the lens of the North American context. It was not written in North America. It was written in the German context in the 17th, 16th,
that's right,
18th
between
century.
The Romantic period and the Enlightenment. So there is a incredible span of time.
Yes.
I can tell you, Sarah, I am very pleased that we're on this journey. I also want to mention one more thing before we sign off on our first podcast, where we are inviting you to come with us, and that is the concept of fear. Fear has a strong feeling throughout because, and it's not what we think fear is. Now, when you make a deal with the devil, we usually think in terms of money, imposition, of things that...
Wealth and success.
That's right. This was his search for meaning, and he was willing to make that deal to get that meaning in his life. So fear of not being part of a life that had meaning is something that you and I, Sarah, I have experienced, and I know everyone out there has sometime in their lives said, what is meaningful for me?
Well, I echo that. It resonates with me because I believe that all of us are called to a purpose, and that purpose gives us meaning.
Yes.
And this particular piece of art, and it truly is art, allows us to confront what is our purpose and how do we search for that purpose and what is redemptive for us. And I am fascinated because already, just in the brief conversations that Rebecca and I have had, I'm not sure that we're quite on the same page.
But isn't that the way it should be?
Well, come along this journey with us.
And stay tuned to meet up with Eglund. I know that you are going to enjoy this journey. Come be part of it and soak in the literary magic of Faust by Johann von Goethe.
You realize by the time we finish this journey, we'll know how to spell and say Mephistopheles and Goethe.
And so will you. So until next time we meet, dear friends,
enjoy this beautiful day that you've been given.
And join us on Faust, the journey of discovery.